last week, monkey testing. Demo from Zoltan. This week. Because I don't expect any demo from anyone. I meet Jasmine. Unless Jasmine has a demo. Topics. Your topics. Me. Updates, Orchard 1. Orchard 1, what's new since last week? Alibi saving code context. Container of widget, so fixing layout saving. Okay, and on the dev branch, roles management. Assign role, which is now dynamic. Oh yes, so there's now permissions to assign specific roles. Kind of interesting. And also view users permission, so more permissions for roles and user management, including dynamic permissions for roles. Something you could have in OrchardCore actually. So you can give permissions to assign specific roles. It's kind of meta. That OrchardCore, what's new? Updating the framework version. How does it impact us? I don't think it impacts anything in terms of security. It's up to each application to update the versions, I believe. Fix typo. Okay. Update contributors. Monaco Editor version. And System.Linq.Async version. Okay, this one is an improvement feature. So now whenever it's fixing the preview with Monaco Editor field on every change. Just a quick note, it was discussed in the PR. There is already some throttling in terms of number of events that is sent to the server for a content preview. So you don't have to care about that when you want to handle the previews. Like just when there is a Control S key or I don't know, 5 times per second. You don't have to care. There is a setting for that in the preview mechanism. And the idea is that it's actually locking. So when there is one render on the server, no other renders can be sent, but there will be a waiting like, okay, there needs to be one render after that, and so on and so forth. So only one render is done at a time. mkdocs material update. Down update, NJsonSchema update. Yeah, this one scares me. I mentioned that last time with read, when I need to update read. Update Readme. Okay, underscore because this is supported on Linux. This is not supported on Linux. Remove unnecessary lines is csproj. Okay. Allow to override index view index used. I see. I don't agree. model.index. So if you go there, I want to see the do I look at it this way usually? Okay, let's look at that. So now on the view model index, if it's not defined, then it will use the search settings. And if it's defined, it will use that. But what is, where will you see plus search plus index?
It's dynamic permission on the indexes.
Oh, the permissions. Ah, I was looking for the index name. No, it's the permission. Thank you. Your microphone is super low, by the way. But I understood permissions. Okay, so that's for the permission. Because that's the dynamic name of the permission. Okay.
So basically, they can't search on a specific index if it's not authorized in the permissions. So by default, I think they're all disabled. It's not allowed. So
Okay, that was my concern. Search index. So we have a permission like this. Interesting.
yeah, I think it's me that added this.
Implied by managed indexes. I see. So this is not following the pattern we use usually, where we have a static one with a format, and then you don't have to do that. You can reuse the format across services then. Instead of assuming you have to do a plus in the middle, it's better to use the format. You don't have to do the formatting here again, plus. You can just call like get or get dynamic permission name and pass index, so you don't have to duplicate this name everywhere. Okay, and then so it's based on the permission. Interesting. I didn't know that. Must be a long time ago. So,
Yes,
okay.
yes, it makes a while.
So you need to add the search index permission to be able to do search. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, my concern was that anyone could type any index in the form and submit a query to any index, but you are checking for permission, so that's okay. Okay, good. Good. How is the form generated? The Vue model. So this means you can build your own form like this and pass this argument.
Yes. This is the goal, I think.
Why does it work?
Yes, it works.
How? Because there is no name. How does it bind this value to this thing?
Did I forgot to name the input?
I think so. That's why I'm
I
asking.
think, yeah, you're right. I forgot.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Then doc improvement from the plan, SEO, Audit Trail, deployment, Redis. Okay, I did all the videos from the recordings. That's great. What YouTube? What is that? Is that officially supported by YouTube? What is this thing?
It seems official.
It's official. That's what I read. So you confirm it's official from YouTube because of GDPR. Well, yeah, I'm getting.
You can go to share in a
What?
video. Go to share a video. Go and share a video. So,
Oh, share a video. That's what you said.
yes. Share a video.
So I take idiots in car. Can I share that? I want to share this video. Share.
And you can select the embed one.
Embed
one.
it.
Wow, you have to look for it. Okay.
Yeah, and if you scroll
Enable
down,
privacy and oh wow. Okay. Wow, they hide it, right? Because who would guess? Oh boy. I see. And because you embed it, you can't like prevent that without the click. So I see. So now they're okay. I'm interested. Okay, I didn't know that. Good. Thank you. Because it's official, I have nothing to say against it. Thank you. And that's it. Questions? Comments? Ideas? We have theories today, so I must have some topics. We don't have any demo.
Yeah, sorry, I arrived a bit late, but I have a demo.
Good. What is that, David?
It's
David. Okay.
Yeah, it's for the Vue single file components in Vue.js single file components in OrchardCore.
Your turn. Please share your screen.
All right. Share screen. Close this. Okay. So I've got just a very simple example of stuff, but more important is in the backend, because you will see that the interesting stuff is now we have Vue.js single file components. These are special Vue files which have a template and the script in the same file. And the Lombiq.Vue.js module now have support to harvest these as shapes. And then if you can see here, this is a special template to indicate that this goes through the string localizer. And what's exciting about this format is that you have
string localizer. Why string localizer?
It's it's normalized string localizer. I have.
So the double bracket means string localize or localize?
Yes. I have a separate Vue engine for it that loads in the file, which gets embedded, and then it pushes it through just the string localizer factory, and then renders it as a script file, which
I
you
see
can.
The double quote. Why another Vue template engine? Why not use? We have shortcodes. We have Liquid.
What?
Good. Okay, I ask the questions after that.
Right. So anyway, so this is exciting for me at least, because like I said, we have full IDE support, because this is something that's like very common in the Vue.js world. And then you get embedding, or you can embed components, and then the top level component gets registered as global, and then you can see that it's very where's a view? Sorry. Yeah. So it's very easy to use, because all you do is just use the tag helper to invoke it, and then it since you register any dependent components in it, like you can see here, when you actually use them, it's just you just inject one tag helper, and then you can use that component seamlessly. So that's the helpful part. And not sure what else to say. I made another sample where we have some simple pager and stuff, but if there's no JavaScript, then it goes back to some simpler HTML code. But yeah, the main stuff is that it injects the templates as rendered in shapes. So in theory, you should be able to do shape overriding as well as localization.
That's our question now. because
That's
you're done.
I think so.
Oh.
Go ahead.
So what's the difference between, you said that every Vue file is registered as a shape, but at the same time you use a Vue component to render it.
Yeah, so what happens is so this gets rendered through rollup, and there we add both a name and then just a simple query to tell it to look for that shape name, and then the shape name is used to during render, so it kind of goes roundabout to maintain this format that is used.
When I say Vue component, I mean the ASP.NET, the tag helper. So if you go to the CSHTML file, that includes the component.
Sorry,
yeah, this one. Yeah, open this file.
Yeah.
Here, you have a line 15.
Yes.
It's a tag helper. Okay, it's
Yes.
a tag helper.
It's a tag
So
helper that I can pull up. What it does is you pass in the script name and then finds the matching shape and renders it and pulls in the resource.
Okay, so the tag helper will render the shape and include the resource. Okay. And because it's a shape, you say you can override it in your themes.
Yes. Did you mention something about shortcodes?
Yeah, so that, I just mentioned that because so if you go in one of the components with the localization.
Yes.
So here.
Yeah, that's not shortcode. Just
no, but
something.
So open that.
Here?
Yes, I mentioned shortcode because it's not shortcode. But here, so you can't use Liquid because Vue itself uses something like Liquid with the double curly brace, line 7.
Yes.
But then, so you decided that double square braces would be translation.
Yeah, because it's not used by Vue, and if you use shortcodes, that would indicate that your stuff goes through another rendering. So
well, you're doing that.
So there's a different render engine, so it wouldn't be an issue. Similarly, if you were to use override with a razor shape, then you would just use regular.
I don't know.
HTML.
So here you decided double quote for translations. And I saw in your code you were also looking for lesser than exclamation point, like comments, HTML comments. In the code that's the code you showed us that was doing a substitution for the localization for the double square braces. Yeah, so no, the source code that does the translation. Open the source code that does the translation, you will see.
Okay.
It's in C#. Is it not in C#?
Well, there's two parts. This is the JavaScript end for the script part, and this is the Vue engine that is for the template.
Yeah, okay, for the template. So you see here, that's where you have the localization, right? You look for that. And then line 57.
Yes.
Yeah, what is that?
It's because I'm just looking for this template element. So this one.
Okay.
Because this is not through XML or through HTML, so there is no parser for it in C#, so I just had to.
It's not XML. It's not HTML.
No, it's its own format.
But isn't it HTML?
You contain an HTML fragment here.
Yeah.
But
Even the template
so
is HTML. I mean,
if I put this into an HTML parser, then
it would work.
No, because it's not actually valid HTML. For example, if you use here, for example, here you have a component, that's okay. But if I use the this is okay in Vue, but it's not okay in HTML.
Seriously, I don't trust you.
It's a Vue component. It should work.
Like angle sharp, pretty sure it will parse that, right?
Angle sharp.
This is what we use for sanitization. Yeah, that's an HTML parser in C#. We already referenced that. So that might be helpful, and it will give you the list of nodes of elements. So you can say, give me the template and everything that is inside. So maybe you should try before saying that doesn't work.
That sounds very interesting. I will definitely check it. Thank you.
Try angle sharp. We referenced that already, and we use it for sanitization. Okay, and then it can also give you the script block because it's part of the same HTML document in this case. So maybe that will work just out of the box. Yeah, because I believe a Vue component can just work in a browser. Like you can just embed it as part of one file. The browser will download it, and then it will be parsed for sure, but the browser won't be angry with that. It will just see that. It won't work, but it will be able to parse it. Okay, so that
it's worth noting that this is, ES module notation, so it has to go through.
But at your level, you don't care. You just want to get the template to change it. That's what you want to do. So you don't care about the rest. You don't want the browser to understand it. You just want it to be able to read it without understanding what it does.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
So the angle sharp should work. And angle sharp even has a module based on Gint, so you can even run the JavaScript technically.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't want that.
Gint is excellent.
It's beautiful. It's the best. But we don't want that. So localization. Yeah, that's a weird format for localization. Also, you mentioned string localizer. Why string localizer and not HTML localizer? Or do you not know one? You can. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought simply because it's easier.
No.
I get it, because we should sanitize the HTML, right? For that reason. So
yeah,
actually, it could be a string localizer, but then it has to be HTML escaped either way.
Well, this way you can. The idea is that because it's an HTML localizer, you can have HTML. Like instead of hello, let's say you want to render hello some tags world. Yes. With a string localizer, you won't be able to do that because it will encode your string.
Actually, let me see, because
you can try that if you.
I have these angles here. So
okay.
Do they?
Then your thing doesn't work.
And they're not escaped. You are totally right. Yeah.
Which is fine actually, but they should be escaped if it was a string localizer. Otherwise, you're doing something weird in your code. Because you said you were using the string localizer. Oh yeah, right. It won't escape it, right? Because it's a string localizer.
Yes.
Oh, you are no. You have more than one issue then. You are not. Okay, you are using HTML.raw, right? I see. That's why.
Yeah, yes, so the rest is actually encoded HTML. So.
You should use HTML localizer first and fix your code such that it won't double encode once you use the HTML localizer. This way you can have tags inside your thing and the arguments will be encoded because you might also need arguments for your localization. That's why starting to parse the thing is not that easy, because localized strings usually require arguments.
Yeah.
And then, so why would not you use shortcodes? Because we have a shortcode parser also already, and that will handle arguments, for instance. And I'm pretty sure we have a shortcode for.
I didn't consider it.
Okay.
Because what would I pass it anyway?
The string. Well, the same thing that you pass. Yeah.
Okay.
And it returns a string. And I'm not saying that for the shortcode, just for the part of the double thing, for the full template. So the full template, you don't have to look for double quotes. You just give it the full template, and it will give you back the same template with all the shortcodes evaluated.
Right. Actually, I just polled my colleagues before I started this project and asked, what do you guys use? Everybody just said string localizer and nothing else. So okay. That's what I added, but I didn't even consider shortcode.
But these are two different things, right? Yeah. So there should be a. So shortcode will be for the parsing, and this way you can inject anything, including localization. And in this case, the shortcode for localization will use HTML localizer. But that's two different things here. The same way you have one thing to parse and one thing to replace the localizer. That will be two different things with the shortcodes. At least you won't have parsing issues, weird stuff like what if there are 3 square brackets opening and 2 closing? What if you want to pass arguments? Then how do you pass arguments with spaces? Or you never know. Same thing for parsing HTML. Instead of looking for just lesser than, greater than, I mean, there are so many cases that you are not handling there that will break. If you use a parser that is existing, then you don't have to care. It will work. They handle that for you.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so try that. But that's interesting. I like the client side kind of components, but defined on the server side, it's interesting. Is there a way? So when you bind data, how does a component get the data? You have to wire it outside of the call to the component?
Yes, you would put it into the app. You don't want data in the template.
Yeah, sure. But that's what I was wondering. So here you invoke the component, and then somewhere else you say, this is my data. So you could say here in Razor, you can say load some content items and then pass it as a data for your components. Yeah, that would work. Because
as long as it can be turned into JSON.
Yeah. Yes, obviously, because every content item is a JSON document or so that's good.
Yeah. So anything you can put in here.
That's great. That would be a great demo, actually, with some actual data. Meaning from content management. Okay, yeah. That's great. That's great. Okay, that's good. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
We got the demo. Yeah. Questions, comments? One. Topics?
Maybe I have one topic for you. I was looking at the milestone and I just saw that for 1.3 I added Elasticsearch, but there's not really much anything else than this. So maybe could take a look maybe on Thursday, or I don't know.
We can look at it on Thursday because you will be there and you will remind us. Let's look at that in priority.
Well, that was my topic.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and the offices are reopening at Microsoft. We are coming back to the office in 2 weeks, apparently. So stuff is reopening. Maybe we do a harvest someday, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it on a voluntarily base or?
Well, it used to be every year, then every 2 years, then COVID.
No, that you return at offices.
What do you mean?
You said that next week you will return to Microsoft Office.
Yes, and then you mentioned year. I don't get it.
Yeah, but is it a volunteer? On a volunteer basis?
Oh,
or?
volunteer, I understood year, 1 year. Okay. No, yeah, I mean, yes, it's open and you can decide to stay to work from home or to go back to the office, but you have to pick one. You have to choose. You have to be officially saying that you want to go back to work or what's your plan, right? So they can organize that. And it's not like, yeah, even if it's a mix, you have to say how much from home you want to work. Where is your actual location for work? That's important. But, and also you have to be vaccinated, or you need an exemption, and you will have to wear a mask and provide a proof of a negative test. So that's to be. Just saying, because big offices start to reopen, maybe we'll see some harvest sometime. And I also see some people going to conferences also now. So let's see how it goes. Other topics? Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.